Hey, are you feeling anxious or dealing with joint pain, struggling with blood sugar issues? If you are not alone. These problems are more common than ever. But just because everyone around you is experiencing them doesn't mean that it's normal. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐠𝐞𝐭, and I help you optimize the brain health of yourself and your family so you guys can feel calm, focused, and productive every day. Today, we are going to talk about a big misconception in the modern health. The idea is that just because something is common, it's normal, whether it's anxiety, joint pain, or diabetes. We've gotten so used to seeing these issues everywhere that many of us believe that it's just a part of life. But the truth is, these symptoms are normal. They're signs that something else is wrong, and they're often caused by our modern lifestyle, environmental toxins, and poor diet. In this video, I'm going to explain why it's important to stop accepting these symptoms as normal and how you can take steps to address them. But first, I want to let you know that I am dropping 2 videos a week. On my Mondays, I'm talking about one of the 5 pillars around restoring brain health. And on Thursdays, I'm talking about some belief-shifting things that we need to happen. So make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. I totally messed that up. But anyway, first, let's talk about why so many of us think symptoms like anxiety, joint pain, or even diabetes is normal. Wherever you look, people are dealing with these issues. Nearly half of Americans report experiencing anxiety or depression at some point in their lives. And conditions like joint pain or blood sugar imbalances are becoming more and more prevalent. It's easy to look around and think if everyone else is feeling this way, then maybe it's just part of getting older or living a busy life. But the truth is, just because something is common does not mean that it is normal. And I am seeing this. This is what I suspect too. If you're a young parent on here, maybe you can confirm or deny this, but I feel like a lot of the parents of children who are struggling, they're seeing their kids who have anxiety, and because it seems like it's every other child who has anxiety, the autism rate is through the roof, the ADHD rate is through the roof, and I think the parents are just thinking that it's young parents because they're in a later generation. Let's say if you are 25, like my oldest son is 26. So his whole generation, that's what they saw. Everybody has these issues. I'm in my 50s. I know that it wasn't always like that, and it's not the case. So I feel like a lot of parents just kind of are accepting that, my kids have these issues. It's not normal, okay, but it's not normal. It's common, but it's not normal. 50 years ago, let's say, these kinds of chronic health conditions weren't as widespread. So what's changed? It's the environment that we live in, the food that we eat, and the way that we live our lives. A major reason of why we see these health issues more today is the rise in environmental toxins. We are exposed to more chemicals and pollutants than ever before. Did you know that a newborn baby today, when they test the cord blood, has over 300 toxins inside their blood already at birth? Okay, so we are toxic. Pesticides, plastics, heavy metals, they're all around us. They're in our air, they're in our food, they're in our water, they're in our cleaning supplies, our hygiene products, and what we breathe. And they have a huge direct impact on our health. These toxins, they build up in our bodies over time. They lead to inflammation, hormonal imbalances, and damage our organs. And on top of that, the standard American diet is loaded with processed foods, added sugars, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives. This kind of diet deprives your body of the nutrients that it needs to function properly and adds to the inflammation and oxidative stress that fuel chronic diseases. Instead of whole, nutrient-rich foods, we're consuming empty calories that contribute to poor mental and physical health. 50 years ago, people were eating like this, and they weren't dealing with these kinds of health issues on such a large scale. So why is it important to challenge what you think is normal? So here's the thing. So these issues are so common, we start to think that they're inevitable. But this mindset stops people from looking for real solutions. If you believe your joint pain or fatigue is just part of life, why would you make an effort to fix it? But these symptoms are warning signs. Your body's telling you that something is wrong. And if you ignore the signs, it only makes the problems worse, right? So it's like that check engine light in your car. If you ignore it, all of a sudden now you're going to be stuck on the freeway. It was telling you something's going wrong, something's going wrong. So it's important to challenge the idea that feeling anxious, tired, or in pain all the time is normal. These symptoms are often reversible, but it requires us to address the root causes, whether that's poor nutrition, lack of movement, exposure to toxins, whatever it is. We got to stop and we got to figure out what is it. Like for me, as I am aging, I mean, I have been like forever because I heard, oh, once you're 40, you fall apart. I was really watching myself. So it kind of started for me. The little things I started noticing was like about after 50, maybe after 51, 52 is when I kind of started noticing things. But as I am going, kicking and screaming, if I notice something, even if it takes me a long time, there's some little things that are happening. I'm like, I'm trying a lot of things and I'm not really moving the needle, but I'm not giving up because I know that what happens is we have a bathtub, right? The proverbial bathtub. We're filling it with toxins and we're draining it. So and whether it's toxins or whatever, let's say we're degenerating, and then the draining part would be like we're rejuvenating. Okay, so we have this balance of degenerating versus rejuvenating. Maybe the bathtub for this example isn't the best. Maybe we'll do kind of like this. Degenerating, and then the more we rejuvenate, we kind of bring it right here, right? So as we age, obviously we're degenerating. But if we do rejuvenating activities, let's say we're degenerating, then we can do this, right? But if we're degenerating at the same rate that we're rejuvenating, then like we're getting older, but we're not getting older. We're kind of maintaining status quo, actually. But if we're degenerating faster than we're rejuvenating, that's when we're having the symptoms of getting older. And we could, with a lot of intent, we could rejuvenate faster than we regenerate. This would be getting younger. I mean, it can happen, right? They're working on it. It can happen. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do things that are rejuvenating faster or more intense than the rate of what we're degenerating. Hopefully that makes sense. And then look at the environmental factors around you. Are you filtering your water? Are you limiting your exposure to chemicals and toxins in your home? Are you choosing clean, non-toxic products to put on your body to clean your house with? Are you reducing your toxic load? If you're reducing your toxic load, it can help lower inflammation and give your body the space it needs to heal. And finally, be proactive about addressing your symptoms. If you're feeling anxious, dealing with pain, noticing chronic issues, don't just accept them, just dig deeper. Work with a healthcare professional or somebody who can help you uncover root causes and create a plan to address them. Not just slap a medical Band-Aid on it, okay? Medication just makes it worse, okay? Medication is going to make it worse. Figure out what is the underlying causes and I deal with it. And sometimes it's like pulling a scab off. We had a house that we had to, finally after 3 years, I'm like, we haven't had tenants for 5 years. COVID put them in a downward spiral, seasonal. So for the last couple of years, I'm like, we really need to have them leave because they really struggle with rent. And it's actually a benefit for them because if we, it's like you need to find a house that you can afford so they're not so stressed and we're not so stressed because we're not getting rent or whatever. But the more time that passes, it's really ripping a Band-Aid off the problem. Then they left and they had been there for so long and then the house was a disaster and it's taking us forever to clean it. But sometimes you just need to do that to really, now that we're repairing it and we're doing it, and it's not, they left it en masse. But there's some things, the house is 20 years old now. We're changing the light fixtures, we're painting the cabinets, we're doing things that now the house is now looking better than it did before. So that's what we want to do with our health. So again, just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal. You don't have to live with chronic symptoms, and you can take steps to improve your health no matter what everyone else is experiencing. We are all going to age. I'm not denying that we are going to age. I mean, I'm like going kicking and screaming, but we are all going to age, but we want to age gracefully. So who wants to be in pain for the last 30 years of their life? That's the problem. If I'm 50, and now I'm saying we might live to 90, or let's say 85, I'm 54, like 84, that's 30 whole years. I don't want to be in pain for 30 years. So I'm not denying that we're getting older, but I'd rather be able to function normally. And I want to still remember my family. And the biggest thing is I don't want to be a burden. I don't want them to have to take care of me for the last 20 years of my life. Okay. So remember, any symptom you have is a warning sign of something else. So if you found this video helpful, inspirational, motivational, please like it and share it with others. And don't forget to subscribe to more tips on brain health and learning. If you are ready to take the bull by the horns and embrace the different elements needed for your health, I have a short free workshop on reading your blood work the right way so that you can know what is actually going on with you. This would be for you if you're experiencing symptoms with the doctors, but the doctors keep telling you that your blood work is fine. How many of you have heard that? Oh, your blood work is normal, right? You're like, but something's wrong with me. So I will have a link to that in the description below. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.